The Survivor, a Norcom Union story by Nicholas K. Part 3. Day 93. I turned the old Type 1-3 infantry rifle over in my hands. It's heavy. It doesn't look like I imagined it would. It looks kinda like an AK-47, but they say it's not the same at all. I don't know. All I know is I point the business end at something, pull the trigger, and the thing I was pointed at gets destroyed. I've had this rifle since about a month into this whole mess. I took it off a guy in the aftermath of some battle. Never fired it, though. Don't know the first thing about guns, except what I learned in movies and video games before the fall. Right. That's what the guys have taken to calling this whole mess the fall. Jinron, the guy who gave me the mask, has become something like a mentor to me. He's teaching me how to use my rifle, how to move while fighting, and communicate like one of them. It's intense, more so than anything I've ever experienced. He's taught me to stop thinking of the rifle as a weapon. It's a tool, he says. Just like any other tool, you just gotta learn when and how to use it right. We have plenty of bullets. That's the only thing we do have plenty of. Jinron taught me to collect as much of the spent brass casings as I can. That way, they can be reloaded with new powder and bullets. A lot of these guys are former People's Liberation Army. When the army disbanded, they held out in their bases as long as they could. When the power went down, their air defense systems went offline, and they got pounded by the collapsing orbital ladder, just like the rest of us. The others watch, their expressions unreadable. I see a group of them on patrol. Some of them seem to have found purpose in teaching the rest of us how to survive. Others, though, they're like ghosts walking around, unsure whether or not to let go of their past lives. Sometimes we'll wake up and one or two of them will have just wandered off into the night. At first, we thought they were being taken or something. Didn't take long to figure out they've just given up. Day 95. We've entered Jingjinji proper. The city is a ruin. Shattered buildings just out of the ground like twisted, gnarled and dead trees. We move in formation. Convoy vehicles in the center of the road, staying as far away from the unstable buildings as they can. The rumble of the engines and the massive weight of the military cargo trucks makes the ground shake. The facades of some buildings slough off and collapse onto the sidewalks as we pass. Flanked by us on foot, the convoy trucks wind their way through the debris and stranded cars like a maze. We have a few crane trucks at the front of the convoy. They lift debris out of the way as we go. It's slow, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Every corner we turn, every open window or door we pass, my heart slams against the inside of my chest. Stay sharp, Jinron whispers every few minutes. We're entering occupied territory, look. He points to markings painted on building corners. 78th Infantry Battalion, 5th Recon Company. We're being watched. I can't stop watching the windows now. Day 97. We had our first skirmish today. A group of survivors, desperate, maybe mad, charged us. Jinron pushed me behind cover as the convoy opened fire. I froze, the sound of bullets, screams, and my racing heart all blending into a cacophony of fear. It was over in minutes. We moved on, leaving silence behind. I didn't fire a shot. Still not sure I understand what happened. Day 99. They finally told me where we're going. There's a place called the Central Atomic Energy Authority, the CAA. I ask if it has something to do with the power station they went to, way back when all this was just starting. Jinron doesn't seem to want to tell me. That was all the answer I needed. We're close to the depot now. The streets are narrower here, the buildings taller, as we get closer to our destination, creating a canyon of shadows. The convoy's strategy is to send small teams ahead to scout, drones buzzing overhead, providing eyes in the sky. The PLA guys recognized the markings, same as Jinron. They want to try to link up with them, but everyone's gearing up for a fight. Something tells me it ain't gonna go down how they want it to. I'm with Jinron's team. Our task is clearing a path for the trucks and the big guns. Every step feels like walking deeper into a trap. I can't forget what Jinron said about the recon battalion guys watching us. Day 101. Ambushed again. This time, they attacked by dropping Molotov cocktails on us from above. One of them almost hit me. I returned fire for the first time. My first shot missed, but the second didn't. I watched as the man I shot fell from a second-story window and hit the ground. He tried pushing himself off the sidewalk back into the building by kicking his feet at the ground. He stopped kicking after a minute. Didn't get far. It didn't hit me till we were back at camp. Jinron asked me what was up. I told him, but he said nothing, just nodded. After a while he talked. The first one's always the hardest, he says. You'll never forget how it happened. It gets easier after that, though. He handed me a bottle of some kind of whiskey he had been saving for when we take the resource depot. I take a drink from the bottle. Welcome to the new normal, I guess. Day 103. We've reached the outer perimeter of the CAEA's resource depot. It's heavily fortified. They locked this place down hard when the fall came. Stuff like this must have been why the government was trying to get survivors to go downtown. Survivors turned soldiers stand guard. I can make 'em out. They look like me. They watch us just as warily as we watch them. No one wants a fight here. But I get the feeling that's just what we're gonna get. The convoy is parked for the night now. The convoy leaders are in their part of the camp planning the siege. The runner our guys sent out to negotiate a meeting with the CAEA guys hasn't come back yet. He isn't responding to messages over the radio. Not sure how I feel about this. Day 105. Our runner was confirmed dead by a scout drone this morning. It's quiet in the camp today. No one is chatting, no one's drinking. Everyone is angry, getting ready now. The battle for the depot begins at dawn. The only sounds in the camp are guns being cleaned, drones being armed, and teams running over their battle plans. We eat dinner in quiet. They gave us extra rations today, as much rice, protein powder, and water as we can take tonight. They say we'll need the energy for tomorrow. Everyone's ration came with a dose of anti-radiation meds, a broad-spectrum antibiotic, and a couple of aspirin to take with dinner. Everyone eats, takes their medicine, then splits up into groups for sleeping and standing guard. Dunno how many of us are going to sleep tonight. I know I'm not. Day 107. The siege begins at dawn, the air already thick with tension. We're crouched behind the remnants of a crumbling wall, the Central Atomic Energy Authority headquarters looming out of the dust and smog. The constant winds kick up. Jinron gives a series of hand signals, and we move. The perimeter is fortified, but we've prepared for this. Drones hum overhead, scouting and dropping smoke to cover our advance. Suddenly, gunfire erupts. I feel the adrenaline surge in my veins, the weight of my rifle in my hands. Bullets pound a wall just a few meters from me. My hands shake as I lift my rifle to return fire. We sprint from cover to cover. Mortars whistle as they drop from the sky like hail in a storm. The explosions shake the ground. A section of the wall collapses out into the street, creating a ramp of broken brick and concrete for a straight up and through the breach in the wall. We blow up a reinforced glass door with C4 charges and storm inside. The place is a mess of twisting corridors and sealed doors. We split up, each team with a specific target. My heart pounds as we clear each room. Soldiers, surviving office staff, and scientists all put up a fight. We blast a message with the convoy commander's former company designation, but the calls for talks go completely unheeded. Distant battles echo to us through the maze-like corridors. They're determined to keep this place locked down, but whatever we're after, it's in here. We find the control room at the heart of the CAEA and unlock the server room. Several teams converge there and post up in defensive locations. Another team brings in a group of scientists at gunpoint, and the scientists begin to work on locating the information our group needs. Gunfire erupts outside in one of the hallways, followed by more in another. The CAEA security forces have regrouped and are trying to take back the server farm. I draw a bead and shoot one as he rushes into the room when one of our guys takes a shot to the head and falls. I hit him in the throat. He grabs his throat as his feet go out from under him. Next is a woman in a security vest running at an injured gunner from one of the other fire teams. It was a 3-1-1 maneuver, just like Jinron taught me. 3 to the chest, 1 to the pelvis, and 1 to the head. She was dead before the third bullet even hit her. The scientists finish their work, and teams of engineers begin disassembling server computers, sitting silently on their racks and taking their hard drives. The schematics and credentials we need are there, locked in one of these machines. I can't help but stare at the woman dead, face down on the floor. As we retreat, Jinron explains the true magnitude of our mission. The power plant they fought to take out in the wastes is a reactor, a titanic thing that fell from the orbital ladder. It survived impact with the ground, but its coolant systems are damaged, and it's at risk of melting down. Stabilizing it means a chance to build a permanent settlement, to create a defensible base with a stable power supply. As I look back at the CAAA fading into the smog, I realize this is more than victory. It's the first step toward reclaiming these lands from the fall.
Ministry of Public Security, Division of Human Resources, Public Service Announcement. Citizen attention is required. Commissar Chen reminds you, subscribing and liking will be rewarded with increased rations. Commenting and sharing will be rewarded with a social credit boost. But failure to comply